You ready?
Hey everyone, it is Friday night. My name is Steve Poikinen. I am coming to you from the Santa Cruz Mountains, and it is time for our weekly call-in show. Get your shit together. This is probably my favorite part of the week. I will be joined by Glory Jones in the next 45 minutes or so. She has some shit to do, which probably involves kissing the ground over and over and over again, because I saw the picture of the airplane that she rode in today and it was held together by motherfucking tape. That is not a joke. There was fucking tape on the goddamn. I don't like flying. I really don't. Dude, just every time I'm on a fucking airplane, I'm like, you know what, dude? If we all stop believing at the same time, we'll just fall. It's just the collective belief that
I haven't been in a plane in 32 years.
Yo, dude, the collective belief that a fucking several 100-ton hunk of fucking metal is just floating in the sky with all our fat dumbasses on it. That's the only thing keeping us up. I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't care if you're an aeronautical engineer. I don't care if you explain all the fucking science to me. It's our belief, and I'm going to believe that. Fuck a bunch of flying, dude. God, you saw that picture, right, Sleepy?
I have not. Mona got here 4 hours ago, and I've been cleaning and shit.
Okay. Hi, Mona.
She says hi.
I wanted to show a clip of our esteemed press secretary, Jen Psaki, who
Get
gave
sacked, dude. Fuck.
This fucking robot bitch is a straight up Nazi, dude.
Yay!
Just all right. I'm gonna go ahead and play it, and we'll
let's roll that.
We'll talk about it for a second, and then we can go straight to the phone lines after that. By the way, if you're thinking about calling into the show, and then you get finished with your call and proceed to call the show back twice, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, find a different show. Just find a different one. This ain't it.
Our point is that there is information that is leading to people not taking the vaccine, and people are dying as a result. And
misinformation about the vaccine, Sleepy, is what's causing people to die. Not the fact that they're putting, experimental gene therapy into people without knowing what it does to them or what the long-term effects are.
We have a responsibility as a public health matter to raise that issue. The responsibility we all have, the government, media, platforms, public messengers, to give accurate information. Go ahead.
Goddamn Bene Gesserit, dude.
Yeah.
Individuals that are on that efforts. That's not from the White House. I don't have the source in front of me, but we've read it as well. Can you give us a sense of who those individuals are, as was asked before, and what specifically you've given a tough message to the social platforms? They should do more of the social media platforms. What from this podium is the message to those individuals?
I can barely hear it on my end.
Well, it's the reporter. He's hard to hear.
Oh, got you.
But she had said that there are basically just 12 people who are responsible for putting out the majority of medical misinformation on social media. So he's trying to get a follow-up on that.
65% of the misinformation that's out there.
The message is the same message as it is to every person out there who has a platform, whether that is an elected official or that is a person who is a civic leader. The vaccines are safe. They're effective. If people take them, they will save their life in many cases. And so our message to everyone who's sharing misinformation is that the steps you're
But you just shared misinformation, robot Nazi. You did just now.
taking are irresponsible. They could lead to people getting very sick and people ultimately losing their lives. Why don't we all participate in a process that will help provide accurate information out there?
Is the White House participating?
I never thought I'd say this, but I miss Sean Spicer.
she earlier in this press conference, she blamed all medical misinformation. Sorry, 65% is what is what she pulled out of her ass. 65% of all medical misinformation on social media, it comes from 12 people. Is what she said. Now that would ordinarily, I think, lead most people to go, how you know that? So I asked myself that question, and I somebody ended up after a little bit dropping this link into the chat. From the Center for Countering Digital Hate. Just 12 anti-vaxxers are responsible for almost 2/3 of anti-vaccine content circulating on social media platforms. This new analysis of content posted or shared to social media over 812,000 times between February and March. Really weird. Like how that uncovers how a tiny group of determined anti-vaxxers is responsible for a tidal wave of disinformation and shows how platforms can fix it by enforcing their standards. See if we go to the executive summary, if they actually
name the 12 people.
Trying to now that I have let me go to the full report to see if they actually get named, because they don't in the executives. Yes, they do. So I'll pull this up real quick, and then we can go ahead and go to the phones. So according to, let's scroll back up, the Disinformation Dozen, why platforms must act on 12 leading online anti-vaxxers. Again, Center for Countering Digital Hate. So the Disinformation Dozen: Joseph Mercola, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Ty and Charlene Bollinger, Sherry Tenpenny, Riza Islam, Rashid Buttar, Aaron Elizabeth, Sayer G, Kelly Brogan, Christiane Northrup, Ben Tapper, and Kevin Jenkins. I have not heard of a few of these people. How about you, Sleepy?
Nah, I don't know most 6 people except for the Bollingers.
So RFK Jr.
Yeah,
runs Children's Defense Fund. The Disinformation Doesn't account for up to 73% of Facebook's anti-vax content. Sleepy, this is frightening. Oh, look, Ricky Gervais is pulling a face. Well, I guess it means it's okay to shoot experimental drugs into your body.
Look, man, it's good. Like my main problem with this shit is like I've got like heart problems and blood clot problems, and it's starting to give people some of that shit. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Right?
And you can't sue them if something does fuck up, and I don't have no fucking insurance if it does fuck up. So like, why would there's like a huge swath of the country that they're gonna take this shit. Like, if they get fucked up, they're boned, dude. Like, why would they do it?
Fuck. No fucking idea. No fucking idea. And what they're coming after, what they're coming after all these people for. Like, the shit that they're coming after them for is stuff that can save people's lives. If you've got a history of blood clots, you should not be taking this shit.
Like, I can barely walk from the last blood clot. I don't need another one. And when I'm positive I had COVID, like, back in, February or wherever the fuck it was. It was a long time ago now. But, like, and that shit hit my lung, dude. Like, I got a fucking clot. It hit my lung. I know what that feels like. I've had that happen multiple times. Like, I don't want to. I'm not going to willingly like subject myself to that again on purpose.
So the government, the Biden administration has been beating the drum for deplatforming people who they feel are pushing out medical misinformation across all social media platforms. It shouldn't be up to individual social media companies as to who they can kick off their platforms, but if you've been banned from one, you're automatically banned from all. Is that not like state-run fucking social media networks?
Sure is.
And people are like bitching because China does this shit, but like they're like gonna go ahead and cheer on some politicians that are doing the exact same fucking thing, or arguing, okay, well, maybe instead of, because I'm a politician with this party, I'm gonna argue that people from the other party get, deplatformed or banned from speaking in the public square. And that's going to appeal to some of your base and then piss everybody else off. But the opposite party is arguing for the same thing. So in both cases, it's people arguing for more censorship, and just the argument is over who you're going to target. That is not the right conversation to be having about censorship, y'all. It's just not.
No, it's some Nazi ass shit.
That's fucking backwards. You don't defeat speech you don't agree with by banning it.
Dude, free speech laws were not fucking made for speech we fucking agreed with. That was the goddamn point. It was to protect speech we didn't fucking agree with. Yep. And people need to fucking keep that in mind, because it wasn't made for you to have your fucking safe space. It was meant for the freedom to say what the fuck you want, as long as you're not threatening other people and shit. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, we wouldn't need free speech laws if all we're allowed to talk about is the shit they want to let us talk about. There would be no need. We'd be in 1984.
Yeah, we got a super chat from JMO here real quick. Says Riza Islam is the shit and try to get him on. Dude, this whole thing just gave me like a wish list.
Hey, prospective guest list.
Yeah. It increased exponentially our potential guest list. It did. I've actually been like warned off of RFK Jr. And been told, like, warned against children's health defense. So it's definitely something to look into. That doesn't mean I wouldn't have a conversation with RFK Jr.
That's what I mean. We don't have to fucking agree with people to fucking have conversations with them.
Yeah.
I don't agree with all kinds of shit that people say that have came on this show for the last 2 years since I've been here. I don't agree with a lot of it. It doesn't mean that we absorb that fucking information and, we agree with them automatically. No, that's not the fucking way it works. We want people to have conversations, and that's it. That's it.
Well, and here's the thing, man. When I give an interview, that's not the same thing as having a debate. You know what I mean?
You want to hear their point of view.
Yeah, an interview is having somebody on to ask them questions and hear their ideas and have a conversation like grown-ups about things that are either happening to us or we find interesting.
Yeah.
If I want to have a debate with somebody, I will go, I strongly disagree on the positions that you're putting forth, and I find them, dangerous or whatever, and I think you need to be challenged in a debate. And then we'll do that. Because it's a debate. I don't know, man. I don't know.
We don't really do debates, so.
And that doesn't mean I wouldn't, but it's not what the show does. Like, if somebody wanted to have me on to debate, or if somebody wanted to moderate and wanted me on to argue a certain point, that, yeah, dude, I'm into it, but that's not what we do here, nor do we have time.
I don't even like debates. I wouldn't want to run that show. So
It's not what I want to do.
Incredibly boring and useless.
It's not what I want to do here.
No, that's what
I'd like, like I said, I'm open to doing it on somebody else's shit, or if somebody else wants to moderate, like, yeah, but not here. It's not what we do here.
No, we like to fucking let people talk and fucking give us their point of view. You can, look into their information. You can accept it or not. That's up to you. That's the point.
Yeah. The fuck, man. The whole point of like making sure that we remind people every day to like, verify sources and check on their own shit independently, and like, yeah. I don't want to bite T-Lab's catchphrase or anything.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's a good philosophy to fucking have.
It was a bumper sticker on my door to my bedroom when I was 12.
Yeah, I mean, it's common sense shit. Like, so I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to steal his catchphrase, but it's a good idea to have in your head at all times.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. And because we like to hear people's ideas and we like to hear what's going on, we're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. Give us a call. 657-298-4767. And really, like, I'm on a like zero tolerance policy with some bullshit. And so is Sleepy Josh. My
girlfriend's here. I got shit to do. I don't have time for bullshit tonight.
And then in the meantime, I want to pull up my fucking favorite meme of the week so far. Where'd you go? Because
did you see that fucking Onion article I posted?
Yeah, I'll bring that up too.
Oh my god, that was so good. All right, we got one coming.
Okay.
You're live.
And then in the meantime, I want to pull up
I need to mute.
Oh, please mute your YouTube.
Done, yeah, muted.
Hey, who we got?
My name is Sahar.
I'm not sure I got that. One more time, please. I'm sorry.
My name is Sahar.
Sahar. Okay. How's it going, Sahar? Where are you calling from, if you're comfortable saying?
No, sure. I'm calling from DC.
Oh, right on. I will probably be back there before too terribly long. Was just there on July 1st. What do you got going on, Shahar? Thanks for calling in. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Same to you. I'm in despair because I don't think that anyone in real life agrees with me or knows what the hell I'm talking about. And I thought that I had at least my immediate family on board. It seems like they might have been humoring me. I'm not sure anymore. It seems like the only people I agree with, I have found online, people like you, content creators, and also just, in the Twitterverse, the people that I've managed to follow. I'm curious what your experience is. Your immediate friends and family, people that people outside of, what you do. I'm sure people who are on the show with you agree with maybe, but this is driving me crazy.
Well, before I answer, let me let you know 100% that I personally know people in the DC area that have a similar, not identical, but similar take on a lot of these things that I do, and that most of them are all active members of the DC Metro for Assange group. The 26th of July, in 10 days, there's going to be an Assange action in DC. If you are up on, if you follow the Slow News Day account, or if you follow Misty's Twitter account, Sarcasm Stardust, there will definitely be information about it as it's getting closer to it. I'm sure I'll end up having somebody involved with it on the show before the event happens. And that would be a fantastic way for you to meet in person, real life human beings that will let you know that you're not going crazy, and that it's not just you.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, I know you were in DC. I caught a video of you doing that, and I'm like, maybe. I mean, it was too late for you. You know, it had already happened. But I'm like, I would love to have been there just to see one person that I can talk to and let it.
Yeah. Yeah. July 26th.
26th.
And again, you know, I like, you go ahead and shoot me a DM on Twitter so I know who you are and I can follow you back, and I can shoot you the flyer when they have it and it's made up and ready. Because dude, it is vital to not think that you're crazy when you're one of the few people around you that are actually seeing the world how it works and seeing what's going on. So I want to make sure that you have like in-person human connection going, and you're not doing that. So when my own family, I was just talking about this on the phone earlier today, always been, you know, black sheep, outcast kind of individual in my family. I have a cousin that's an ER doctor. He is 100% like a vaccine evangelical. He's 100% pushing the whatever the daily talking point from the CDC or the WHO or Fauci or whatever. It's his mom that got the In Fauci We Trust coffee mug for Christmas. I'm not making that up. And they didn't use it for like target practice. Like they actually poured a beverage in it and we're drinking. Oh, it's cute. So they don't talk to me about shit, like at all. If it's marginally approaching a serious subject or something that can be made into a serious subject, they're like, oh shit, look at the time. Well, been great catching up, and make sure that your kids call me. Not you, your kids. Your kids can call me. You can't. Don't call me. And that's basically what interactions with them are like. Like, again, as long as I'm not talking about anything real, or I'm only keeping it to what's going on in somebody's immediate life, or like what the fallout of so-and-so's divorce is or something like that, then I can have, but as soon as it turns into anything else, no, dude, just done. And locally, I've been here long enough and I've been active and involved in the community in so many different aspects over the years that like people in town have a good idea of where I'm going to stand on something regardless. Most of them have already heard it, whether they wanted to or not, because I talk to everybody about everything. Even if we're waiting in line in the fucking grocery store, people like 30 feet away know about Julian Assange because I have been a line, you know? So that's how that works. But like I'm the type of person where you may change your mind about me, but you either like me or you hate me. And there's no gray area. So you already know in your head if you're going to listen to anything that I have to say based off of that. And I have gotten into it with some people over this, and we've been able to stay friends. And I have definitely, there are people in my life that I just don't talk to anymore as a result of the last year and a half of lockdowns.
Unfortunately, I feel it goes both ways. I also I can't communicate with people anymore who don't see this shit for what it is. I lost respect for these people. And so I have to say I'm guilty as well of like not wanting to deal with these people anymore. I've just like shut the door on all these relationships because I don't want to hear their bullshit, you know? It goes both ways. I hate it, but I can't help it either.
Well, you know what? Do you
had
remember? I'm sorry to cut you off, but do you remember it was a perfectly legitimate thing to say to someone maybe 2 years ago? I don't really have the bandwidth for this conversation right now. I am really trying to work on me in the moment, and we need some. I'll get back to you. And people were like, "Oh shit, okay." Maybe I don't know, dude. I haven't tried it post lockdown, but maybe like it, you know, I hate closing the door on people. I understand what you're saying. There's only like really you can carry yourself and you can, you know, maybe carry some other people with you, but there's only so many other people you can carry before they fucking make you buckle and you're being trampled on and worthless.
Right. And also because I see them as the future enemy. Like maybe right now we're dealing with each other okay, but I know that they're going to weaponize these assholes against us. So, you know, I'm in advance. I'm already defensive and upset because I know they're going to turn on us bad. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like okay, so real talk, dude, that's one of the reasons why I'm getting the fuck out of any sort of, you know, anything approaching civilization. I've seen what happens when petty people are given a little bit of power or a little bit of entitlement or even perceived power. And it is gross. It's disgusting. I mean, like that doesn't mean that only, you know, like I don't know, dude. I got a lot of fucking thoughts about power and shit like that, especially after rewatching that interview with McAfee. But like, whew, but like it, I understand where you're coming from, and cynical me thinks that you're absolutely right. And part of that cynicism is what is, you know, spearheading the desire to get the fuck out and just go, you know, be in the woods and come into town as little as fucking possible. Like,
About it.
but I feel like it's necessary to not, like it's necessary to prepare for that inevitability, but it's detrimental to humanity in general if we isolate. You know what I mean? Like we still got to try and talk to some people. We still got to try and get as much information out as humanly possible. And like, I don't know, dude. At no point in my life have I ever been great with patience. And I feel like we need the most of it now, and it's in the shortest supply. So if something is going to become that rare of a thing, we should probably regard it as rare and, you know, make sure it's used right.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm disappointed because I thought I was at least making some headway with my sister and my mother. Yeah, at the very least. I mean, I was like, my area of concern was shrinking and shrinking. And I think my sister went and got the jab, or she's about to. And it guts me. You know, I don't want to be alone, but it's maddening. I don't know. It used to be that when you want to leave civilization and go live in the woods, you were joining a cult. Now it's like you're escaping one, you know?
That's a fantastic point, and I hadn't thought about that before, but now I think I'm going to incorporate it into a t-shirt design. Shahar, Sleepy Josh is telling me we got to get to the next call, but I really do appreciate you coming in. And please don't forget July 26th. I don't know where yet, but we will soon. And like, please do that. Please go and meet some of the DC group and like get to know, because you gotta have that. And I really hope that you do, and you go and you like find some people you can connect with. Jordan Renee, one of the people that runs that organization, is just so fucking phenomenal. Yeah, dude, there's great people there.
Are you gonna be there?
Pardon?
Are you going to be there?
I can't be there this time. I just can't afford it. It's like $1,100 on the cheap to go travel there from here. Maybe more at this point, and that's just for a couple of days. It cost me about $1,300 at the beginning of the month, and that's me not eating much. It's fucking nuts, dude. So I won't, unless somebody's like, oh, I bought you a plane ticket, you're gonna sleep on this dude's couch, like it's already done and handled for you. No, I'm not, but I'll be back out before too long, because I just kind of am now.
Last question. What flavor are you vaping?
I am not. This is tobacco. This is a tobacco flavored pen. And they don't make many of these. I don't believe a grown man should smell like a strawberry shortcake playset. So
okay.
tobacco. Yeah, there's Granddaddy Perps, and this is OG Kush live resin in my weed pen right now.
Cool. Thanks a lot for taking my call. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for calling in. You have a great night and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And please do go meet people, and you're not alone and you're not crazy. I promise.
Thank you. Take care.
You were live.
You have a great night and enjoy the rest.
Hi, how's it going?
Hello. Hey, mute your computer or whatever you're listening to this audio.
Okay. I just muted it. Is that better?
Yeah, who we got and where are you calling from? And thank you for calling in, and happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Thanks for taking my call. My name is Aaron, and I'm from Illinois. And I've been watching your show for a while, and I really, really appreciate what you're doing. So thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank
for your activism and organizing it. It's really great work what you're doing.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Aaron. And what do you got? What do you got going on? What brings you to the phone line this particular Friday?
Well, I've been thinking about, you were talking about the action for Assange coming up on the 26th. And I was wondering, have you also heard about the March for Medicare for All?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I know a handful of the people who've been asked to speak at it, and was like went on Twitter, I think at the beginning of the week, just to be like, hey, this isn't necessarily like my focus, but I stand with all of these guys. There's an enormous amount of overlap between the way that they've been like targeted and mistreated and fucking dragged and shit, and what we get in the Assange community. And so I got a lot of empathy for those guys and what they're going through.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, and the other thing I've been thinking about recently that I kind of want to get your take on, to me, it seems like, what's going on now, we're seeing a division. There's the social democrats, which are like the progressive Dems. And then you got kind of like the anti-imperialist left, like you, and the ones who are defending Assange. And, I wonder if it seems to me like these two sides are irreconcilable, because the social Dems don't want it. They don't want anything to do with anti-imperialism. And do you think so, or what do you think?
So what it comes down to, I think, and the imperialist mindset has a lot to do with it. The willingness to overlook foreign policy and how it relates to domestic policy is a huge blind spot among like kind of the DSA left. These are the people that I've always referred to as like shit libs and training wheels. Like they're going to be the next generation's Nancy Pelosi and all of the brunch Karens and shit like that. That's where they all come from. They don't start a garden variety, like modern day, overlooking the existence entirely of like Raytheon or Ray McGovern's Mickey Matt, ignoring all of that just so you can be like, but Republicans are mean. Or they like Jesus, and that's dumb. Like if that's all you've got in your politics, you're horrible. But people don't show up that way. Nancy Pelosi herself will talk about all of the protest signs she's got down in her basement and shit like that. They're all coming from a more progressive space. They just, they catch on to the fact that if they sell out and they sell out all the way, they can get more power. And they can tell themselves that they'll get something done for their constituents if they keep getting elected. And they keep compromising and they keep doing deals and they keep doing this. Next thing you know, you're being read in on the torture program. And the first thing you don't do is pick up the phone to a news outlet.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
So in terms of like irreconcilable, well, Aaron, we're all, to varying degrees fighting some form of authoritarianism. And where it hits on the left is almost like, if you've ever seen that, not political compass, but like political axis.
Yeah.
Like the authoritarianism on both right and left isn't just that top half. Like it drops down sections onto the bottom half. And like, I'm not really sure where I am along that very bottom row of anti-author. I know I'm not like all the way over in ANCAP land. I'm somewhere like outside of that box between Emma Goldman and a box of fucking rifles. Like,
yeah, and that's my point exactly. Where because I've been thinking about the difference between these anti-imperialist leftists and these what you've been calling shit libs or the social dems, what I call. And the thing is, for example, the social dems, all of us, as we were growing up in this country, you were taught to say this. Anytime you're talking about any one of those other countries like Venezuela, Cuba, any one of them, Iran, any of them, well, except Saudi Arabia and Israel, you're always supposed to say beforehand it was their dictator. Their dictator, their communist, their boogeyman. And we were taught to do that. That was the right way to talk about those countries. And, but, the crazy thing to me, so these social dems, they fancy themselves radical, but they won't question any of the Cold War mentality, this boogeyman mentality that was fed through us all the way growing up. I mean, you've noticed that, have you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I've actually been thinking a lot about this and how to best communicate it and break it down and talk about it. And, because we do have a bunch of new people here on the Rockfin. I don't know where everybody's at. So because I get like nervous about my own ability to communicate it, I reached out to Jay Dyer and I'm gonna have him on to talk like how the intelligence apparatus and government propaganda gets filtrated not just through media but pop culture largely, and the history of that, and kind of hopefully allow for better pattern recognition going forward in everybody that gets a chance to see that show.
Definitely. That's so cool. Well, can I share one more thought before I go?
Absolutely.
Cool. Thank you. I do want to let other people have a chance, though I do want to say this one final thought. And my final thought is this. So it seems to me that, in this country, we're talking about the anti-imperialist left and the social dems. And, we've seen how the social dems, their calculus, their rational, what they're thinking, their political strategy is to get into politics and to make little tiny marginal changes on the edges to make life just a little bit better for some people, and then they can go to sleep real nice at night and have people look up to them because they're some kind of senator or representative. They get to wear big pants. Now, we've seen that's not helping anybody. And so that's what gets me to my final point, which is, to me, it seems like, at some point, at some point we're going to have to start talking seriously about what revolution looks like in this country, in this day and age. And I just think that do you have thoughts on that?
Man, so I do, and I think that any sort of like quote unquote revolution can't be a revolution, because a revolution brings you right back around to where you started, and we can't have that. Like, if we're going to have anything, we need ascension, and we don't get there without some woo. Like, we don't. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to over the last few years that aren't religious people, who have talked about or framed like what's happening to us and what's being, like on what level we're being attacked and affected, and framed it as this is a spiritual war. So
yeah.
So what? And I know that there are a lot of atheists that watch this show, and I don't know what to say to that other than like I have been like pretty hardcore atheist. Ask anybody that grew up with me or knows me. Anyone who's known me over a period of years can testify to this. I have become much more spiritual the older that I get, and the more that I understand that I don't understand shit. And there are a number of experiences that I have had with and without psychedelics that I can only describe as spiritual.
Yeah.
I have gone places and I have talked to things that exist only in the spirit realm.
Yeah.
And so like it's not difficult for me to wrap my head around the concept of we need to do something in a spiritual sense a lot. And if that only looks to you as, I will say this to an atheist, if all that is to you is healing, like a deep seated full self healing, because we've all been exposed to mass traumas on multiple levels
Yeah.
to varying degrees from the time that we were born. I don't give a fuck who you are. So even if you can attach a spiritual significance, like in the the deep healing that each and every one of us needs on a psychological and emotional level, you know, that's gotta happen. Our guest tomorrow, Tessa Fights Robots, Tessalina, has a great article on her Substack out right now about broken people and isms, and that how all of the isms that we have and are trying to sell are just broken replacements for broken people who haven't healed. And it's a fascinating fucking concept, and I can't wait to talk to her about it.
Yes, wonderful. And you know, it seems, this will be the last thing. It seems to me that the thing that's breaking the people, traumatizing the people, is, you know, what you know is this elite class, you know, the ruling class, it's this capitalist system. In my opinion, I mean, I see it. And so that's what makes me think that at some point we're going to have to seriously confront this capitalist system, and it's going to mean something real. And I was just thinking, let's think about that. And so I want to say thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you for letting me call in, and so nice talking to you. And you're doing such great activism. I commend you. I thank you.
Aaron, I appreciate the hell out of it, and thank you for calling, and have a great rest of your weekend. Take care of yourself, and yeah, dude, call back.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Talk to you again. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
All right, we've got another one coming in. You are live.
Well, hi there. You can hear me all right?
Yeah. And who are you, and where are you calling from?
My name is Jared Goldstein. I've been a watcher for a little while now.
What's happening, Jared? How's it going?
It's going well. My wife and I, we're actually kind of I guess we'd call ourselves a success story. We were in Brooklyn 18 months ago, I'd say March 2020, and we just moved to a Native American reservation in Montana, and we love it here.
Hell yeah. From Brooklyn to Montana on the res? That's a fucking journey. Were you New York raised or Brooklyn, or had you ever been out west at all? Tell me about that.
We got in the car and decided to go. Grew up, both my wife and I, different places, upstate New York. And then we both went to school together and met each other, went to Brooklyn for about 10 years, had a blast. Decided it was pretty silly to continue to live on top of each other. There was nothing going on. So we packed up and lived with my brother in Albany, moved up to the Canadian border by Plattsburgh. I spent the dark winter teaching skiing. And we decided we needed a place to go. So we hopped in the car, went west, and saw a lot of places we didn't like, and we ended up in Montana, and the culture here is fantastic. I'll tell you what, as an East Coaster, we had no idea that what an imposition you are as a person. And we came out here and we were just being people, and nobody saw us as in their way, in their life, in their egos, and it was just refreshing. We didn't really know it could be like that.
Kick ass, man. That's bold as fuck, Jared. It is.
We decided we liked it here, and then we had to go back and get our cat. So we drove 3 times. I'd like to just kind of talk a little about myself, how I found you guys. My wife and I were big in the Bernie Sanders movement in 2016. We were those people making phone calls. We saw Nevada. We saw, yay, nay, the ayes have it, boo, and went, wait, something's going on. We saw the biggest rallies we ever saw, and we were getting empty Trump podiums. And then the concept of the Pied Piper candidate came out, and it was pretty obvious. We went to the DNC in Philly. Seth Rich happened, Sean Lucas happened. A memory hold name, by the way. Nobody really talks about him much anymore.
It really is. You're absolutely right about, and I'm guilty of that too.
Oh, I know. It's absolutely amazing how they can make us forget things.
Hi, Gloria Jones.
So we were at the DNC rally. We saw Jill Stein speak, and she was fantastic. And I voted for her, and I was proud to say that I voted for her. And it was crazy to watch everybody else call me a conspiracy theorist. And I said, but there's proof right here. We're seeing, chairs weren't thrown. Like Brooklyn was taken, California was taken. These are the numbers. It's very clear. I'm not sure why people what's going on. And then, the Assange dropped, and it changed my life. It was clear that there was fraud. It was clear that it was from the beginning that it was planned, and I wanted to tell as many people as possible. I'm an opera singer, and so I was doing opera on the Lower East Side, and I went to go smoke a cigarette around the corner.
So cool.
And there's a graffiti, and it says CP equals and pizza equals and at the time I went, oh, these conspiracy theorists trying to delegitimize a decent fraud election evidence, and man, was I wrong. Oh boy. On the Bernie Believers, I posted something about this and got hundreds of posts saying these people, this happened. This has been happening for a long time. Like, welcome aboard, but this is not new, and that got taken down before shadow banning, before anything like that. So it was a reckoning for sure, and it changed my life. And I'm just curious to think of your thoughts on that.
Well, I'm always fascinated by like people's stories and journeys, especially since I got thrown into conspiracy land and shit at such a young age. But that time that in 2016, watching it from the perspective of someone who didn't have any hope that Bernie was anything other than a sheepdog, and didn't necessarily, nobody expected shit to go down that way. Nobody really could have predicted, all of the events that led up to Philly. But watching it from the perspective of knowing that the whole fucking thing is rigged, and then watching what happened to people that were like, but hey, it's quite literally here on video and in black and white in print. And nobody is denying that the material is fake. They're just telling you that you're a bad person for looking at it.
Exactly. I mean, Silsby to David Brock to Podesta himself. It just kept going and going and going, and it was just once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it. And I'm sure it was really interesting viewing that from your perspective.
Well, that's also what made the Q thing so obvious, so right away, and it's what made the Q thing so particularly frustrating, because I had a number of friends that were like, but no, Steve, you're just a black-hearted asshole, and Bernie is legit, and this shit is gonna happen. And then he got fucked over, and they went straight to Trump and Q, and they got stuck there. They got stuck there for years, dude. And I finally, I was just starting to pull one of my good friends out of the fucking Q illusion, and fucking the Rona happened. Oh. And he was like, I'm back in, bitches,
Yeah, I think the thing with me was I guess you could say I was kind of privileged in a sense to be able to be in Broward County and witness all kinds of rigging take place on the ground in real time. So from the get-go, from the get-go, I knew that elections were pretty bullshit. That was one thing.
The Tim Canova was so obvious. Like,
Yeah.
the statistical anomaly was winning the lottery every day for a year. I think it was capped at 4.99% across every demographic, so they didn't get federal funding. Like, I'm not sure how much more obvious you can be.
Yeah, I mean, carting off paper ballot, like thousands of mail-in ballots and rental trucks to be fed to the alligators. And it's like, these were common occurrences that you could observe on the ground. And because, you know, I was like in Broward County, I could see it as it was coming to me. And I was just like, so are we going to talk about any of this? Or no. Okay.
No,
I had enough.
That's an Enterprise rent-a-truck, and that motherfucker's getting out of a Toyota Camry with boxes full of ballots and walking them to the truck and going, hook.
It was election integrity and imperialism. That was like my breaking point with like the Bernie Sanders progressives. I was like, you know what? I tolerated the shite foreign policy, but like the elections are right in your face and you can't see what's happening. I'm done.
We initially followed Nick Brana when he decided to break off, and I wrote something that was like, election integrity is the number one thing right here. We should be doing an independent verification count, where even if 2/3 of what we get is what we get, it's still more than 5%. I mean, come on. I believe the poll at that time for W. Osman Schultz versus Tim Canova had them tied when he ran as an independent. There was like a leaked Republican poll, I believe.
Yeah, like they hid polls. Like almost, and it's in the past primary between Jen Perlman and Debbie, like they straight up didn't do any polls. And whatever polls they did, no, you know what happened was the campaign heard that they did do a poll between like Jen and Debbie, but it never got released.
Oh God.
Yep.
There was a few things I was ahead on. I was a big privacy person. When people started doing YouTube in 2010 and it started monetizing, I said, don't do that. They'll pull the rug out from under you. Don't use a monopoly as a utility. Like, they're going to take the bottom of the economy out. And it kind of happened that way. I'm a big privacy nut. I don't know. You do the best you can, but like I haven't had a Twitter ever, and I'm kind of proud of that. It's kind of one of those things. And I have an Ubuntu phone. Like, I don't know. We do the best we can, I suppose. By the way, on this Indian or on the Native American reservation that we're on, they give us a DSL line. And every time I plug in the modem, it's a new IP address. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, what an interesting layer of protection. So any anons out there, look at some DSL, because I'm not sure if that's like so old school that nobody can trace it. But my God, like it's very interesting to have a different IP address every time I plug in my modem.
Hell yeah. That's fucking interesting. What do you think about that, Sleepy?
Unfortunately, most of the DSL companies allowed like the fucking NSA to just put shit on the pipe, so it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that exactly? I took a privacy class, and they said the question, is it Mossad or not Mossad? If it's Mossad is coming after you, there's nothing you can do. I mean, the internet was made with backdoors. Like, everything we do is on it, and I was yelling that for a very, very long time. And basically, you know, the technocracy and the transhumanism of it was really like, don't get attached to these things, guys. Like, remember how to live without them. Like, make sure you know how to travel without Google Maps, because like you need that part of your brain. You really do.
MapQuest.
Atlas.
I lost that war, and, you know, I really tried, but
I love maps. I'm a little map nerd.
That is a cartophile, and it's okay to be one.
You know,
I'm
just
fascinated by cartographers, map makers, shit like that. My older brother, fucking, and I'm so pissed I didn't get his fucking map collection. That fucking bitch, dude.
He had a map collection. What the fuck, bro?
Oh, it was like an entire fucking section of his shop, dude. Just, I mean, stacks and file cabinets and yeah, he had like hand-drawn fucking property maps and fucking ocean maps and land surveys and fucking all kinds of shit, dude, all kinds of shit. But I mean, he was a junkie. He had like every year for about 7 years given me topographical maps from USGS from like different parts, different mountain ranges and shit like that. Yeah. Sorry.
Fantastic. There's one more point I kind of wanted to address on with you guys, and then I'll let you go. I just wanted to let you know that for the record, I have never actually had a vaccination in my life. So I'm an interesting test subject. I titer to get into college, and I have 95% for measles and rubella, and 100% for the mumps, things like that. Basically, I was able to give titers to get into school. So I clearly wasn't going to be down for the jab, so to speak. But I just kind of wanted to let you know that natural immunity is here; it's possible, and I would hope I had a legal precedent actually, as a person who didn't have that in their life. We've been eating as natural as possible over the last 4 years or so. I lost like 40 pounds. I was able to find spirituality through that, and so it's been quite a journey. I wanted to let you know about our place that we found. We have an irrigation that runs through our driveway that goes to one of the native tribes down into the mountains there. So that was pretty cool. And I hung out today outside, and we were hanging out with a rooster who was hanging out about 1.5 feet from us. It was for about an hour or so.
That's what it's like in a lot of places in the Caribbean. You can just hang out with roosters and chickens.
Roosters are fucking mean, though, man.
They're jerks, but the hens and chickens are all right.
Mm-hmm.
And it is true, they do fucking do the little cockle-doodle-doo thing in the morning.
Yeah, they'll do that anytime. They'll do that anytime they're fucking happy, horny, pissed, bored.
But they do it especially in the morning to wake you up because they're assholes.
Fuck, man. I used to live at this place that the fucking next door neighbors had a couple of different roosters, and they would get into it. And then, at fucking like all hours of the fucking day. Choke that motherfucker.
I'll wrap up with you guys. It's great talking to you. I had sent you a video of a song that I did in classical singing of Chris Cornell cover a ways back. I just joined the Discord, so I can post it there.
I remember that. Okay.
Discord music thing. If there's something, if you like what I post and any type of, if you have any type of covers or thoughts, it's my favorite thing to do. So I figured I would try to combine activism with my art as much as possible. And it's been great chatting with you guys. We're excited to have you move off the reservation so we can watch your videos on how to build a house, so we can follow your videos.
I can't fucking wait, man. I can't wait. I was just talking to the dude whose property I'm moving up onto and getting a little slice of right before we went on the air. God, looking forward to that.
I'm making a music channel for the Slow News Day Discord right now.
Oh, nice. Well, Jared, thank you so much for calling in, man. I'm really glad that you got the fuck out of Brooklyn and on to the res, dude. Congratulations, man. And yo, dude, anybody who's watching, like, that's what you do. You just go, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it.
We're a half hour from Missoula, and there's a lot of great people there, and there's a lot of great art, and there's they have amphitheaters, and they have a lot of gatherings, and there's good food and culture. We weren't expecting it.
We got two in the queue,
but
guys.
it was pretty cool to find what we like to call red classy area, and to be able to move on the outskirts of that, and we're extremely happy. It's been amazing. There's like 12 different types of birds outside the house right now. And we learned that you help other people by helping yourself. You work inward to work outward. We are a reflection of what we do, and and courage is contagious. So I wanted to share the success story. I'm not one who puts myself out there on social media or things like that, and it takes a lot for me. I love singing in front of people, but I hate doing outreach. So I'm trying to branch out in that way. You guys have been so inspiring in that sense. Honestly, the I just don't give a fuck attitude. It's just, I love it.
So awesome to hear.
Emulate it.
Well,
Right
thanks
on,
for
Jared.
calling in. That was awesome.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much, and let us keep us posted about Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you said, we got to stick together. So getting to know you guys has been fantastic. I'd love for you guys to get to know me more. Absolutely.
Right on, brother.
All right,
Well,
then.
have a great
Much
rest of your
love.
weekend, and yeah, man. Thanks again.
You too, guys.
You're live.
Hello, this is Eric.
Hey,
And-
Eric.
If I had info that I felt would bring to the release of Julian Assange, I would definitely deliver it. But I think that reporting how the government perform acts of torture and terrorism on me while they set every American life to be kidnapped, raped, and murdered is not something that the government would respond to and not be very happy to hear, even though there's documentation on that. And if anyone is interested, they can Google search Daily Caller exclusive 1300. So what I find interesting is all the places that the government is putting the number 666. Have you noticed that? It's like on all of their major policies, the mark of the beast, the sign of the devil, the symbolization of humanity's enslavement and torture. Have you noticed these things anywhere?
And how much of that do you think is them just fucking with you, and how much of it do you think is ritual, like on a percentage basis?
Or that they take seriously? I don't know. I wish I knew. Maybe one of your callers has that info, but I certainly did. But I could give you like 11 examples. I can give you a lot really fast. If you divide the year 2020 by the number 666, what you'll get is 30330, which is what Joe Biden says his campaign text number is. He also uses the campaign slogan, Build Back Better. 3 small B's next to each other look like the number 6. 666 is Build Back Better. Donald Trump owned a building in New York City that's now owned by...
Jared Kushner owned that building. Not Donald Trump, but yes. But that was Jared Kushner, and he paid like some ridiculous like $28 million over asking price.
The address is 666 Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bill before the Congress number of the bill before the Congress for mandatory testing and tracing of COVID-19 is HR for House of Representatives 6666.
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
sixes.
Has a microchip that he like to insert into people. He is also the biggest financial contributor to the vaccine besides the United States government. And the microchip patent number that he would like to insert into people is WO 2020-60606. And then we have Fox News. Well, how is Fox News 666 news? Well, they're the first organization allowed to give fake news legally. And if you consider that there's 26 letters in the alphabet, then X is number 24.
It's a bit of a stretch, Eric.
What's that?
It's a bit of a stretch. At least the windup was. I don't think Fox was the first place to legally allow deliver fake news. We had CNN before them.
Yeah, an Operation Mockingbird.
But there is that. There is the whole Radio Free Europe thing. And then there's that whole like Hollywood propaganda pushing the war machine since the beginning of Hollywood.
And yellow
But
journalism.
Yeah. Yeah, but I want to see where the 666 comes from. So maybe change the wind up a little bit, but you're there if the 666 lands. 26th letter of the alphabet.
So we'll take your information on that. Fox News brings 666 news. X is the 24th letter of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F. F is the 6th. O is the 15th. 1 plus 5 is 6.
Oh, there
and
you go.
2 plus 4 is 6.
I
So
did not see that coming. Well played.
One more time.
Huh?
I couldn't hear that because it was.
I said well played. I did not see that coming. I didn't. Bang up top.
Okay, so I have a State of the Union. Well, my Assange song went over fairly well last week. There were a few people writing in saying that they enjoyed it.
Nice. That's good to hear.
Are you? Is this another wind up, Eric? Or do you have a new song? Is that where this is headed? Or
yeah, I could give you another song. This is the State of the Union, not by Led Zeppelin, but through Led Zeppelin.
okay,
If you're willing to hear it.
I'm intrigued. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well, you know, Stairway to Heaven.
Familiar.
Okay.
We won't get copyrighted, will we?
There's a lady who knows they're paid by lobbyists gold, and he's climbing a stairway to Air Force One. When she gets there, she knows if the restaurants, schools, movie theaters, parks, and stores are all closed. With a word, he could give us all health care. If we knew what was true on TV, there's only corporate sponsored news. Sometimes all of our media is misgiven. There's a feeling I get when I look to the homeless tents, and my spirit is crying for leaving. If we could have just pushed the vote, then there would have been quite a jolt, and the forest would have echoed with laughter. Does anybody remember laughter? Blum, 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 blum. If there's progressives in the Congress, don't be alarmed now. It's only AOC with a web stream. There's only 2 parties you can vote for, but in the long run, there's still time to change, to save the earth you're on. Or I really hope so. Dum, 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 dum. Oh, it makes me wonder. Yeah, it really makes me wonder. Da-da-dun, 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 dun, 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 da-da-dun, 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 dun, 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 guitar solo. And as we count up all the votes, our shadow's taller than our soul. There walks a lady we all know. She prosecuted grass, trims, and blow. And if you listen, her open arms are in a fold. And if you listen very hard, the truth will come to you at last. The 1% is stealing it all. Yeah. Thanks for rock, we're going broke. Plump, 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 plump.
We're gonna pretend this razor knife is a lighter. I can't find a lighter. I feel like I should have one.
Said what?
I feel like I should have a lighter for this. The closest thing I can find is a razor knife, so I apologize. Eric Sleepy Josh is telling us that we have to wrap it up, but thank you, brother.
Okay, well,
yeah.
With the razor, don't slice anything that I wouldn't slice.
I will try not to.
Okay, good. Well, nice show you got. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, have a good one.
Much love, Eric.
All right,
That
we got
really happened.
even Lucky Burrito on the line.
Hey.
What up, fam?
Do you
What
have
up,
any
fam?
interesting Stairway to Heaven covers for us, Steve Cutler and Lucky Burrito? Purveyor of fine artwork and
I'm
necklaces?
gonna play it backwards. But I thought that was way feeding into that whole like 666 Satan narrative. I'm not really comfortable with that.
Just
That
hope
was
we don't get
the best
copyrighted.
comment I've ever heard. It was fantastic.
I guarantee you we're not getting
Oh,
a copyright strike for that. I guarantee you.
That would be something if we did.
So, our parrot Peaches is in the background, and he's been hearing you guys, and he's been asking what doing over and over. He really wants to know. He's very excited to hear you guys tonight.
Said it at least 666 times.
Yeah.
What's good, parrot?
Peaches. Peaches, you're a good bird.
The cockatoo.
He's a cockatoo. He's a big boy.
Oh, you're big. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a big
Peaches the
parrot.
cockatoo.
You speak like you've seen a cockatoo.
Yeah.
Wagwan, Peaches.
Now he's saying it again.
We had a question like, you know, what you doing? It seems like he seemed to like the guy who called up before us. I don't know if he's just into Zeppelin or numerology. I'm not really
Who's
sure.
not, man? Who's not? Zeppelin. You know what? If it would have been actual guitar, I probably would have had to take my clothes off. But who doesn't love Led
Right?
Zeppelin?
I mean, it was. You know, I tried to convince everyone in the chat that I do a mean fat Robert Plant, but nobody was into it.
I got to tell you, I'm pretty into Fat Ted Cruz right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's making it.
Fat Ted Cruz with them flowing locks is doing something to me. I have no way to explain it.
Maybe it's Peaches. You know, he's a cockatoo. Maybe he's got something to do with it.
Maybe I'll blame the bird, or at least a cockatoo.
All right, here's something that hasn't caught on at all. Is for the last few days, like we found out that there's going to be a general strike. Like people are trying to organize a general strike in October.
But wait. And you know what's awesome about this is that my 17-year-old daughter is actually who came up to us and told us about this general strike, which is freaking amazing. It's fantastic.
So I don't know if it's all just 17-year-olds or if content creators are just like bound by law not to get excited about it or talk about it. But we've been telling everybody for like a few days in all these different chat rooms. And everybody's like, oh, that's cool. And then next subject, please. Like nobody's fucking like the wick is wet for this to happen. Like what the fuck?
What's the date they're saying?
October 15th.
All right.
Yeah, so we have time to plan for this and try to get mutual aid and really
That's the
get the
biggest
word
thing.
out. I mean, like, it doesn't matter where I am, whether I'm at the grocery store, the pharmacy, whatever. I bring up to everybody, I bring up stuff about Assange, about the protests that are coming up, Medicare for all. And I really feel like we need to make this blow up. We need to make it known that we have the Medicare for all march coming. We have Assange things coming up that you guys, I'm so grateful for you guys doing what you do. And then we're going to have the Magnus is September 11th, anti-war protests. And then we're going to have the strike. And I feel like so many of our protests could be combined into being a pro-human rights protest, right? Because that covers everything. It covers everything that all of us are fighting for, from like the environment to Palestine to Julian Assange, everything. And I feel like we have to wake up the people that are just complacent and sleeping through this.
What, Steve?
I'm just reading through the chat for the last like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, I bet.
There's some good discussion there.
Yeah, nah, you
Yeah,
got a point there,
you know,
Lucky
I don't know.
Burrito.
Maybe it's naive to think that it could happen, but it's like, come on, let's fucking rally.
I mean, like, even though it never rarely happens, it's like, you don't necessarily lose anything from trying to spread the word. If that makes sense. I don't know, just like being able to connect people with local mutual aid and get them educated on issues and, get to like convey to them the message like, hey, you need to do something. Here's why. Here's something you can do.
I think just that alone is reason to do it, absolutely, and to try to get people motivated and excited for no other reason than just to form those relationships with people. So there's more and more and more and more.
I mean, honestly, even if what we need to do is make the people that it would affect, we have to make them care about it, and we have to make them realize it's a big enough of a threat that we can make it happen. Like, we need to make sure that they are aware, like, no, we will do this, and we're not going to give up on this. And we need to watch how we say things, as in, like, we need to say things like, if we change the language of, instead of saying like, this will never happen, or like, blah, 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 we need to say it like, no, everything is possible and we're going to make it happen, because then we're putting positivity towards it instead of negativity. And that's really important for us to make sure that we are putting our best foot forward within like the way that we say things. Because I know a lot of people say, like, I don't think I'd ever see that. I won't see that in my lifetime. But I don't believe in that. I believe that everything that we're fighting for can and will happen.
Yes.
Positive,
No,
baby.
that's like the thing that keeps me going as an activist, is saying like, no, I'm gonna speak this shit into existence.
Right, motherfucker, you're living through Rise of the Machines.
Yeah.
You don't think that like weird shit ain't possible?
Because I mean, like, if you don't have that belief, then at that point, it's like, is it like how much of your activism is just role playing if you don't have an actual belief?
Glory, I gotta let you know something. And that's I come into some knowledge that I have to share. I have found out that the Marshall Islands has one of the best, if not the best, beaches in existence.
The what?
Beaches.
No, the what?
Marshall Islands. The Marshall Islands.
Yeah.
And also because of its location and generally low overall island population, combined with an abundance of parrotfish, I have learned that parrotfish is the most delicious of like all possible fish in the sea.
Did you eat it?
I have not personally. No. The person I was talking to was telling me about it.
Yeah,
being
you can't
in the Marshall Islands,
though, because they eat coral. So like but obviously like any fish being overconsumed is a bad thing. But yeah.
No, it's just they were served it while being a guest on the island, and I had the realization, holy fuck, this is delicious. So I did feel like I should share that with you. And also, I can't wait to share that with Johnny Buttons.
Johnny is so adorable. Absolutely.
He's the dreamiest.
I would like to add to that. If Slow News Day, if the Slow News Day compound needs an annex, perhaps, the Marshall Islands is the best place we can go. And I'm down with that.
Okay. So if we have any listeners on the Marshall Islands and you would like to have us out, I'm pretty sure I'll need like to be smuggled, but I'm down.
And I love
Let's
actually
make it
swimming
happen.
with the parrotfish because they're beautiful. So yes, I'm down.
And I would like to eat parrotfish. I would like to consume at least one parrotfish in my lifetime. I must now. Life goals. Life goals.
You know what? I wanted to try lionfish because it's invasive, so it's actually good to eat them.
Okay. Okay. How about you? What exotic fish would you most like to eat, Steve Cutler and Lucky Burrito, and possibly Peaches?
I would halibut the best. Myself, halibut.
Halibut's good.
North Atlantic, it's like grown in a refrigerator. You know what I mean? It's like it's cold from the start.
Yeah.
And somehow that makes it like lighter and just I don't know. I'm not a real fishy guy. I don't really like the stuff that's like like swordfish and stuff is kind of fishy. Tuna, you know. But the
salmon for you, not. Okay. Okay.
I want fish that aren't. I want to eat fish that are not full of toxins and plastic and all of that. That's what I really want. You know, is not have to eat my food that way. And I think we need to remind people, besides about the activism that we can do at these protests. The thing that I always say to people is, if you want a better community, get out there and make it a better community. Know your neighbors. Go volunteer at your local soup kitchen. Like, get with, organizations and programs. Like, I have a longer resume of volunteer work than any jobs, like, ever. And like, my daughter's been doing it since, like, for her whole life, So, like, I mean, it's so important. It's just so important. Even if you just check on your neighbors or just say hi to people, like, West Coast is very different from over here on the East Coast. I'm actually from the West Coast. So, like, people there are very friendly and you can talk to somebody in a grocery store. But here in Connecticut, they look at you like you have two heads.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop me. I just still act, I just am who I am. So, but I have been able to get so many people. Yeah. They just have to deal with me. So, like, I mean, like, just, I think everybody, if they can just try to reach out even just a little bit and just, even if you drop something, just drop some information on somebody, even if it's not a lot, you're planting a seed and hopefully that will grow. We just got to keep informing everybody, I guess.
Well, that's all you can
Yeah.
do. It really is. It's all you can do.
We just each got to do our part, whatever we can.
Oh, I see Benjamin Balderson in the YouTube chat.
He's been in there for a minute.
Hey, buddy. Okay. Well, I just clicked over. I did. Hey, Tiger.
And Peaches sends his he keeps asking what doing.
All right.
Oh, I heard a rumor that that Benjamin Balderson is going to be on an upcoming episode of Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli.
Nice.
Was it Tinfoil Hat or was it Zero, Ben? I don't know. I will be on Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli next Thursday, and will immediately be on one of Chrissy Marr's 35 podcasts right after. It's going to be a busy day. Full day for me.
That's awesome.
Want to remind everybody that Tuesday, July 20th at noon, 280 South 1st Street in San Jose, California, Rally for Commander X. I will be there. Glory Jones will be there. Keith McHenry, the co-founder of Food Not Bombs, will be there.
I'm so excited
There
to
will be
protest with Keith.
other people are going to show up. I am trying like hell to get John Fitch to come out.
Yes.
Oh
I'm so excited to protest.
And Commander X's dogs, are they okay?
Yes. They're in awesome care with the ladies who helped do the Friends for X committee, which was basically the fund that would like pay his bills and pay for dog food and stuff like that. So the dogs are doing great. I'm actually looking right now to pull up some pictures of them because they're doing good.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because my little Leo looks just like Commander X's little dog. Like they look so similar, and I was like,
you know what? Now that you mention it, yes. Here, let me share my window here.
All right, I'm gonna get off. So
there.
Josh, yell at us.
I realize that you guys can't see it, but if you're in case you're watching it, those are his babies.
Oh. Oh my gosh, I just love the animals. They're so healing. Like if it wasn't for the animals, I don't know how we would have made it through this. All right, we love you guys.
Oh, we love you
y'all
too.
too.
Make sure that you guys are checking out Lucky Burritos. Was it Shopify?
Yeah, the Shopify was acting wonky, and we have to get a hold of them.
Is that because it had Julian Assange's face on it?
Yes. I'm actually making more of those. So, oh yeah, and I was thinking about making some Commander X ones. And I didn't know, send Steve a message or something like that so we can figure it out if there's like a particular like image that you want to use for him. But yeah, I can do anything with the necklaces and magnets and stuff like that. Get some money raised.
That one hit.
Nice. Yeah, and if
I will
y'all-
talk to you guys soon.
All right, I'm grabbing the next one. They've been waiting for a minute.
Okay, y'all. Thanks so much for
love,
calling
Steve
in.
and
Much
Lucky.
love. Go check out Steve
And
Cutler's
Leo.
artwork and Lucky Burritos design.
and your parrot.
You're live.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Kyle from Houston again.
Hey, what's happening, Kyle from Houston? How you doing?
All right. Have y'all been enjoying y'all's show? The one about what was the one y'all did about the Internet of Things? That was a good one.
Thank
you. We're gonna try and do that every week, where we pick a topic that we talk about frequently on the show, but maybe we haven't we just every time somebody comes on to discuss whatever that is, we just hit the ground running, and we haven't backed up and taken a look at what that thing necessarily is. So I'm glad that you appreciated it, because it was a new sort of concept.
Yeah, it's a good idea, I think, to keep doing. I like that, you start a video and you're commenting as you go. The commentary is pretty funny. But I had a curious thought. So I'm a teacher. One of my colleagues, I teach at a Catholic school, and he's very smart, and I like him a lot. But have you ever got the feel that you're talking to somebody, you're are they paid by the government because of the crap that they're telling you? Because this is kind of before I got into conspiracy land, according to the normies. But I remember I was kind of starting to get a little more critical towards politics, more engaged, and I asked this guy. We were talking on a bus, and I was like, Trump, or I don't know how we were talking, and I'm like, just burn the system. He's like, oh no, I know we want to get rid of, for example, term limits, but we got to trust the. He kind of was implying that there's this elite group that the deep state. He didn't use the word deep state, but the managerial class, that it's good that we have all these people who stay in power, who keep the system going, because otherwise there'd be chaos, and we shouldn't have term limits. And I was like, huh. My first thought was that's interesting. And then later on, we had another conversation, and he was very pro, imperialist. I wouldn't say, he was very he's very intelligent. So every time you talk, you doubt yourself, But at the same time, he studied at Oxford, and he went to Fordham. I think he has a PhD, but he's hilarious, an English teacher, very articulate. But yeah, whenever you talk about Israel, Zionism, neocon stuff. He's just very like, oh, I used to think like blah blah blah, but basically, if the U.S. wasn't in power, then everything would be horrible. It's the best we have. And I'm just like, and I met another guy like this I worked with at another place before that, and he's very similar. Like I post on Facebook, and he'll say stuff like that. And you're like, is this real? And he once I posted like a thing about Julian Assange, and he's like, he should be locked up. He endangered lives or something. And I'm just like, really?
Oh, send him my way. Send him my way.
So Kyle, I don't know if you can if you can see the screen or not, but while you were talking, I pulled up a News Punch article that I'll throw in the chats here in a minute. Called "The CIA Admits to Infiltrating Every Civic Organization in the U.S." This is a Twitter thread from 2018, August 29, 2018, where it's the CIA saying, let's debunk misconceptions about people, about the CIA and the women and men working here. I like how they put women at the front, not men and women. That's very, very, very femme forward.
We're not
CIA.
gun-toting, globe-trotting, martini-drinking spies so frequently portrayed on the silver screen. Instead, we're ordinary Americans doing extraordinary things of the most epic proportions of country possible.
Yeah. So I know. I mean, like, and I saw there's like a book about how they try to infiltrate universities and stuff. And people are always going off like the CCTVs everywhere, and I'm like, well, I think the CIA might be doing that. And I just get the vibe, like, you get like hindsight, after talking to them, just like, this is kind of weird, because it's just kind of like when you're talking to them, there's just like this ideology behind it. And I mean, I might be being paranoid, but yeah, no, I looked at his resume, because I was just like, after like I started listening, and I'm just like, he's in like Kappa something, that's one of the like earliest fraternities, and then the other guy was like a part of the Heritage Foundation before he worked for this church.
Oh wow,
thing I was a part of, and I was like, oh okay. So I mean,
so you're at like the good connected Catholic school.
I mean, now I am, and and I'm a pretty hardcore Catholic. Like, I used to be Baptist, and I'm like, and I think I became Catholic in my 20s, and it was a big process where I discovered it was really just learning a lot of stuff, and like having to challenge all my presuppositions about Christianity and everything, because Baptists pretty much think Catholics go to hell. So I was always like, and that's what I thought growing up. But they have a lot of stuff on politics, and they have like words like solidarity, subsidiarity, all these things that common good, that I had never. There's a political tradition in the church, and in recent church, the Catholic social teaching, and it's pretty liberal. You get the idea, like there's the conservative ethical side of like euthanasia and abortion and stuff, but then you look at like the dimension of like distribution of wealth, the notion of property. It doesn't really fit like a capitalist ideology, nor does it fit a socialist, any of the like ideologies. It's more like principles. But then when you look at the Catholic Church in America, it's a lot like, I was reading a book, and it's like, you get this vibe, like it's very much like a Republican Party church ever since I think Reagan, because he like monopolized the whole abortion thing. And I think it's like, there's just, among Catholics, I mean, they're either like Biden-like Catholics, or it's like Democrat, whatever, that, kind of wishy-washy, like masks and vaccines, and I go to one parish and it's more like that, or I go to another and they're all like, basically, I had to listen to like 2 election homilies like about choosing the lesser 2 evils, and the lesser 2 evils was Trump because of abortion, and I'm just like, they're all, your vote doesn't matter is what I'm thinking, but that's it's like this. Because I've lived in Spain and Mexico, for example, and you just get the vibe, like you get to see the church and all its different cultures and stuff, and you're like, the American Catholic Church is interesting, and it's like there's a lot of people who are well connected, who have that kind of evangelical Trumper vibe and imperialist vibe, and you're just like, I don't know. It's been a very interesting ride, I could say, my formation. I mean, I'm still, forming it, but as a teacher, I'm existentially bothered. I used to teach theology. I teach Spanish now, but I have to talk about these issues, and it's been challenging, because you want to like form the next generation, and there's a lot of freedom in a Catholic school to teach versus a public school. They do. It depends on the school, but in general, that's the great thing about being in a private school. Even though it has its downsides, I'm sure, like privilege or something. But I'm grateful for it. But anyway, but many things like yeah. So apparently, one or two guys I work with, I think, could be on the CIA payroll. So it's just,
One thing when it comes to academia is like people are sort of groomed into that very like pro CIA mindset, even if whether it's willingly or unwillingly. So
But
like, people will have the facts, but it'll be like so slanted towards the CIA. And obviously that's intentional from the empire's part, like
but
Johnny
if the
Streets always
Catholic
says empire education.
if the school is a feeder academy into the university system that gives us an overabundance of our spooks or our like defense contractors or people who work in part of the Mickey Mat, then it's definitely possible because the CIA,
like for
in
example,
that
like
Twitter thread that I was just showing, is sitting there telling you CIA agents are in every profession in America, down to auto mechanics, is what they fucking said. Like, it isn't. Dude, there was a whole fucking Newsweek story about the fucking private army that exists in the United States, 60,000 people strong, just in order to fucking create false identities for people and backstop them. Like, if you're in an institution with any sort of fucking pull or sway or anything like that, it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility for there to be someone there on Intel's payroll, whether private or public,
Yeah.
that's there to groom and feed
I
people
once
into
had
a pipeline to where
an
they'll be good beneficial cogs to the machine. Sorry.
I had an astronomy professor that besides being, a professor, he also worked at Raytheon. That was a fun class I had. Yeah.
Like I've seen some of the kids in my school did go on, and I'm new to I'm just my fourth year here, but I was teaching at a low income one, and now I'm teaching at it's a more high income all boys school, and I did notice like one kid got a scholarship with I think it was NSA or something like that, and I'm just like my new objective is to like infiltrate to get all kids discouraged because I've kind of been there 4 years now. I know all the kids. I've taught most of the grades. I mean the classes are big enough where I don't teach all the kids, but I'm going to be like try to discourage them from anything government related because I'm just like I mean I teach freshmen, but I just like I see and a lot of kids do want to go to Ivy League. A couple of them, it's hard to get into them, but this guy that I'm talking about is a debate guy, and I think he might have, he teaches upperclassmen and stuff. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's just that suspicion that like you would just feel when you're like you said, Glory, could be just that he's empire educated, but he's very educated, and he said he used to be like kind of a libtard, but now he's like, it could be, this is the only way. But anyway, I've been talking for a while.
No, thanks for sharing. I mean, it's definitely a sentiment that as a university student, it's definitely one that I share. A lot of people who, sound educated and are educated, but it's in the direction of the empire. And I'm like, nope, WikiLeaks.
How can you you're educated stuff but then it's almost like they've like surrendered to it. And you're like, but how? Like WikiLeaks, yeah, like you're saying, it's like how? I mean, when you study the foreign policy and the history, it's like that's the one thing that opened my eyes to everything else. Like I started with foreign policy, and then you question the internal policy after that because you're like, maybe what we've been taught has. I mean, I had a great history teacher in high school that questioned everything, but I'm not good at history until more recently. But I'm grateful content for y'all, because you're helping me continue to re-educate myself about things that I used to assume. But anyway, it's great.
Awesome. Yeah.
Guys, have a great night.
You too.
Hey, Kyle,
Thanks for
thank you,
calling
man.
in, Kyle.
I appreciate you calling in, and have yourself a fantastic rest of your weekend, and good luck down there in Houston.
All right, thanks. Take care.
You are live. Hello?
Hello.
Or not?
You are live.
Hello, is this the Get Your Shit Together show?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, got the right phone number then. This is
Who
Jerry.
you got, and
calling.
where are you calling from? And if you're still got your screen up, please mute it.
Sorry about that. I'd 4 Miller Lights will do to a man, right?
Make him piss a lot.
Just call in and say that really like the previous callers that called in. Very insightful people, beginning with the gal to begin with, who was rightfully frustrated with her friends and family not getting it, so to speak. Like to tell her that, just stay strong, sister, if she's still listening. And then there was Eric. What I'd like to tell Eric is that man should seriously consider going into comedy. The man is funnier than hell. And but to get to the serious side, sometimes, speaking for myself, I get a little frustrated that people don't articulate what the main goal is for activists, and that is true peace on earth, and that it's not articulated nearly enough. It'd be interesting to hear what your guys' take on that sentiment is, and if there are any people in the chat who would like to call in and share their opinion on that issue. Hint to Rob Juno. That'd be cool.
I do believe I just saw Rob saying he was gonna check out for the night, but Glory, you want to take a swing at this one first? I have thoughts on this. I do.
Then you go first, because I'm still collecting mine.
So I think the reason that you're seeing a downtick in activists even speaking about the idea of world peace is because we don't have a fucking anti-war movement at all anymore. It's gone. And the people who are genuinely anti-war, I mean, we talk about it, but we don't talk about it often. You're absolutely right. I don't know if it's because we've boiled down to the immediacy of whatever it is we're advocating for in the moment, or because like cynicism has crept in a little bit. And the idea of something like peace is out of our speech. I mean, it's I don't know, man. When I talk about it, when it's discussed, even on the show, it is more of a lament for the near extinction of the anti-war movement. Which is weird because almost everyone that we talk to is anti-war.
Yeah.
And active in something or another. I think when the anti-war movement was reduced to code pink and their occasional demonstrations, and all of Code Pink's leadership was like, oh, it's going to be harm reduction to vote for Joe Biden.
Yay, Bill Burns is the CIA director.
Who just happened to go to Colombia a week before the Colombian mercs and American Haitians who were also Colombian mercs murked the Haitian president. That CIA director.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Steve on that as well. Plus, it's like, I don't know. I guess people, I wonder if it's in the framing almost where people get so sucked into one issue that they don't think about an end goal almost. I don't know. But yeah, I have thoughts on that. I just can't articulate it right now. But they're kind of in line with Steve's and also in line with like that broader question of like these concepts that we're fighting for, like, you know, human rights and freedom and peace. At the end of the day, I think that's very much our end goal. And, you know, we try and articulate that through fighting for these various causes. So.
Okay. Appreciate both your sincere responses there. At risk of sounding like one of the contestants on the beauty pageants who's asked about world peace, it seems to me that it's a possibility that it could be established. World peace could be established, and that going back to the insertion of the spiritual aspect of ultimate reality earlier, that the spirituality, the spiritual aspect of life, if that is understood very well or completely, that is when the big change will happen. That's when true peace on earth will come about. But until that spiritual aspect is emphasized and articulated, and that goes along with the situation with Julian Assange also, I'm certain in my bones that Julian Assange is a spiritually motivated person, and that the failure to bring up the spiritual argument aspect of the situation that he is in, along with his fiancée and his two beautiful young boys, the failure to bring up that spiritual aspect is unfortunately going to end up in his eventual death inside of a prison somewhere. So until that spiritual aspect is emphasized to the fullest degree and equivalent to ultimate reality, that what Julian is experiencing right now is a spiritual situation.
I agree, and I asked Ray McGovern about that when he was on the show. I don't know, Josh. You were part of the show at that point, and I'm pretty sure it was shot when I had moved my setup into the outdoor space, but I can't remember exactly when it was. And I know I asked him the question as to why our religious leaders haven't made this an issue in the way, certainly, that like when the religious community got on board for fucking Nelson Mandela. And I think Ray may even brought that into the conversation and said that that's something that Julian needs. like one of the people that I consider like one of my best friends on the planet. She has unfortunately a very unique kind of Christianity, and that it's the way that it should be practiced. And she's got the exact same gripes about it, and it I don't know if I'll say this: it's not a failure on the part of people with faith who are a supporter of, or in McGovern's case, a friend of Julian Assange, communicating it to other people of faith. That's not where the disconnect is. We don't generally wind up in religious spaces, except for when we go to talk about Julian Assange, and then only in the US can you get a room. And the only people who are only in the US are the only people who are offering a room for you to talk about a political prisoner is in a Unitarian church or in the Islamic Cultural Center, or something like that. So it's such a weird separation. It is. I'm not. I don't know. What do you think, Jones?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think there's like a disconnect between where faith and spirituality leads you in activism versus where like organized religion or doctrines might lead you. I think that's one of the reasons why we might not see this issue brought up in more religious spaces. That's kind of my guess, is that it'll sort of boil down to kind of the difference between like spirituality versus organized doctrinated religion, and like that has like this established hierarchy and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
The fellow's name in history that escapes me right now. He lived out in the woods, and he said one of his famous quotes was "Simplify, simplify, simplify." Do you know the fellow I'm talking about?
Henry David Thoreau.
Yes, Thoreau.
Oh my God, that dude. Transcendental.
I kind of lost my train of thought here. But anyway, getting back to the world peace thing. Okay, simplify, simplify, simplify. I like to state things simply. I think it's the best way to state things is simply. Okay, world peace. Let's talk about world peace. I got a feeling that anybody listening to this right now, or anybody who will in the future, will agree that world peace would be kind of cool. Where you could walk around, and anywhere you were, you could run into men and women and kids, and you'd understand that those are our fellow brothers and sisters in the family of man. That is ultimate reality, is those are our brothers and sisters. And that world peace would be kind of cool, Everybody you run into, we're all aware of that fact, and treat each other accordingly. So we'd like to put a smile on each other's faces and love each other, stuff like that, make each other happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
But,
thanks for prompting the discussion, and thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. Those are some good questions.
Sleepy Josh is telling us that we actually do have Rob Juno on the line, or Rob's been calling in, so we can get Rob's thoughts on this.
Best regards to you guys. Thanks.
Hell yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. We really don't.
Thank you.
We really don't discuss this enough.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up. Rob!
Hi, you guys. You know, forgive me. I'm really tired.
Man,
I love
thanks
you
so
guys.
much for calling in, Rob. We
God
love it
damn
every
it,
time you
Juno,
do.
pull yourself together, man. I love you, Rob.
The
Thank
first
you for
thing I
calling
want
in, brother.
you all
How
to
are you?
know is I love you. The first thing I want you all to know is that I love you.
Oh.
And the
We love
second
you
thing I
too,
want
Rob.
you to know is that there is no possible way that I could be the one to speak for God in this conversation. That's just not, I don't know what God thinks. I don't know what Jesus thinks. I don't know what any of the holy people think. I know none of that stuff. But I do want peace on earth. And I do believe it's possible. And I do think all we really have to do is work together a little bit, and a whole beautiful shift will be upon the whole world. And so I think we can find the patience for each other. Those of us who are sincere and of goodwill, I think we can find the patience for each other because we do all day long anyway, no matter who's pulling what strings. Otherwise, we'd all be at each other's throats. So if we were just to accept our own nature as humans and do our best to be kind and truthful with each other, I'm sure we can pull this off. Now, convincing the folks that have a, shall we say, more pointed interest in profiting from our discomfort, I just want to eat them. You say billionaire and I start salivating. I think they've been eating the choicest food for the longest time. They would make a lovely banquet, and then we could get to work and build a world we can all be proud to inhabit. And I think that's in our nature too. I think that's where this is supposed to be going in the very first place. And I think everyone who chooses to keep stabbing the mother for the blood, I think these people just need to be shown maybe, what it looks like on the other side. I think they just need to experience the other side a little bit and they'll come around. So that's what I think about peace on earth tonight. And I'm sorry I don't have the stamina to stay for long, but I love you and I want you to stay strong and to keep looking out for each other because that's what gets us through every time, every single time. So good night, all of you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, all of you.
Oh, hey Rob, before you go, Rob, I got to tell you that here in the Rockfin chat, Sarah Wagner said, "Tell Rob that we love him." So,
thank you, Sarah. Thank you all. You're wonderful. You are wonderful. Each of you wakes up. It's as though each of you wakes up a different neural circuit. You know what I mean? I talk to people and I realize, I haven't felt like this in so crazy long. I can't even believe it, And so most of the time it's a happy shock just to be here. But I'm serious. I can't stay awake any further. I love you. Bye.
all right,
You're the
we
best,
love you too,
Rob.
brother.
Much love.
You have a great night.
Thank you. Bye.
Resident Wizard.
Man, I'm voting in 2024 just so I can write in Rob Juno for president. Rob Juno for everything.
You're alive.
Hello?
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 Hi, can you hear us? Because we can hear you.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Do they have the stream on?
I don't know if you have the stream on, please mute it.
It's muted.
Okay, we can hear you fine. What's happening? Who are you? Where are you calling from?
Hello, this is Mark Moore. I'm known as Phenomenal Mysticism on YouTube.
Oh, okay. You're the mod for Miss Mindy's chat.
Yes, I am. It just happened unexpectedly.
Word. How's it going?
It's going good. I don't think I told you where I was from. I'm from Massachusetts.
Okay.
Oh, and-
Okay. Right on. I know some assholes.
So I had a question of why do you think you say it's sometimes like a cartoon? Why do you say that?
Oh my god. Well, okay, because well, the reason that I started making the joke is that optically we went from the Nobel Peace Prize winning president who went on to bomb 7 countries illegally
Obama.
to one who was in the WWE Hall of Fame, the World Wrestling Entertainment Hall of Fame, for being the version, like pretend wrestling, talented stunt guy storyline version of a cartoon villain. And that in and of itself is really fucking cartoonish. Now, take on top of that the fact that WikiLeaks, in order or for this this transition was taking place while WikiLeaks was showing everyone that it was a rigged fucking game, and yet people still doubled down on how fake and pretend it was. So that was like, kind of driving home the point for me, and that's where the joke originated from. But I swear to God, every day something happens that is so just like out of pocket, on its face, cartoonish, good or evil, or just fucking hysterical, where you're like, really? I can't. Really? They did that? It was supposed to be a joke, and then the thing happens, and it's like, okay, so we do actually live in a cartoon. We do. Okay, it wasn't a joke, and that's where that comes from.
Thank you for answering. Any idea why you call Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez Sandy? You call her that sometimes. I only managed to know who you were talking about because I watch your show every so occasionally.
Well, she made a whole point of saying, or that she used to introduce herself at the private school that she went to as Sandy, and that
Because I
helped
guess
her.
when you say Alex Sandy, I don't know.
So in order for her to like pass at her private school, she went as Sandy Cortez with an S, which is how her dad spelled it, which is the like more Spanish, which reads white to a lot of people, version of that word or of the name Cortez, acceptable Spanish, not Cortez with a Z, South American, Latin, like Latin America. So she passed herself off as Sandy. So that's why I do it, because she is the one who brought it into exist, or at least into my awareness of it. So when I call her Sandy from the gram, that's because she's a fucking Instagram influencer with a seat in Congress.
Makes sense. I think the left has a gatekeeping problem. Do you think so?
Yes.
Wait, hold up. Gore Jones, you want to take a second to think about whether or not that, or I mean, really, because you said yes like you were breathing, because, oh my God, it's true. I mean, to be fair, every political movement has a gatekeeping problem. All of the co-opted like protest orgs or movements have a gatekeeping problem. Indie media has a gatekeeping problem. Left indie media is a gatekeeping problem with occasional reporting.
Even with like good movements, there's still gatekeepers within them, even if the gatekeepers aren't at the top of like the whatever hierarchy they're trying to build.
See, the reason why I said that, like in independent media, there are many people that believe if you take away one person from that independent media, they say that some good will come of it. I don't think that will happen. I think the situation will still be practically the same, even if you take away someone that they disagree with.
You're right, and the MCSC network, well, Nico House recognized that. Nico House saw that and asked the Convo Couch to be a part of his like, I'm gonna do media on my own, because he had a fucking an experience with gatekeeping indie media, gatekeeping left indie media. He had a personal experience with that and went, oh fuck, man, I can't. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. And then there were a handful of people that were helping him with research that on their own are contributing, to their own financial stability. Maybe one day, hopefully, if they ever get the fucking recognition they deserve, Robbie Yeager. But it expanded a little bit. But when he and I started talking, really a couple of years ago, like, we've had a number of conversations about this and about Slow News Day, like being a part of the network and what it would take and why. And approaching media from a place of activism where there's like the whole reason we're here is to be adversarial to gatekeepers and make sure that there are people that we recognize along the way that do not get the fucking flowers and attention they deserve just because of the way that the YouTube algorithm is. Like, making sure those people get brought on and brought up, or at least brought up, if not brought onto the show or the network, at least get fucking, as much as we can, try to get the attention to them that they deserve, in our opinion, because that's how we're doing this. Is fucking, it's definitely opinion based. Like, there are people that I believe deserve way more attention, so we're talking to them and about them. Did we lose you?
I'm still here. I was listening. I did. I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of shy.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Really appreciate you calling in, and stoked that you're a part of Mindy's world there on Bitch. Yeah, Ranch Gang. Mindy won't even make her tech guy a mod. You're like extra special.
I've donated once to her, Julian Assange.
Nice. Thanks for that.
Hell yeah. Much appreciated to that. I had then Mindy's going. By the way, if anybody is watching right now and has participated in any of the billboard campaigns that's going on in North Carolina, Daniel DeCeter, friend of the show and Action for Assange, and the gentleman who runs the North Carolina chapter of Action for Assange down there is picking it up for the next month or so. I know Misty is trying to make sure that she gets it for a decent chunk of football season. So it'll be back up, but there should be like national campaigns about this right now. And the Denver Assange group is going to be starting, I believe, trying to get projectors for a number of the Assange groups so that we can all do light projection events. And so I'm sure will be a campaign for that looking forward. I do feel like it is incumbent on me to sing for my supper a little bit, or at least the continued existence of the show and the paying of Sleepy Josh for all the work that he does. We have a fundraiser going on for the show right now. I will drop the link into the chats. I think I did that or started to do that in the YouTube chat. I'm not sure if I ever actually followed through or not. If I did, I'm gonna do it again.
I got you.
It's the Rockfin chat. The Nico has the dress skills. That's fucking funny. Gaina Fauci. By the way,
Hey, I'm
Gaina
matching with
Fauci is
the
a fucking
picture,
beautiful
y'all.
human being. I got the privilege of meeting him in real life. He came out to the Home Run for Julian event. And yeah, that was fantastic chatting it up with him. So guys, if you can, please do donate to that. It is the most immediate and probably best way. There are a couple other immediate ways to support the show. Both PayPal and Cash App are at Slow News Day Show or $ Slow News Day Show. We've got Bitcoin and Ethereum wallets. If I ever figure out how to fucking cash that motherfucker out, then I can do a couple of cool things with it, like start building our fucking houses, because I am building a bolt hole for Sleepy. That's part of the gig. Looking forward to documenting all of that, by the way, man. I really fucking am. It's been a minute since I read off and thanked the people who donated. So I'm just gonna go back a couple of days. Well, no, I can do the whole fucking thing. It's like 34 people or 30 people individually. Mia Carroll, thank you very much. Devin Wolf, Kevin Kohler, Melissa Kelly, Derek Woolette. I hope I didn't fucking destroy that. Ed West, Anna Mayer, Stacy Blevins, Jarrett Bryant, Anonymous, Rachel Sotos, Michelle Jenkins, Paul Childers, Jeremy Friedman, Matthew Dorr, Camilla Isabel Soul, Julia Moretti, John Coyne, James Quinn, Jonas Fornaro, Chris Blaylock, Raymond King, Stephen Torres, Hala Ismail, Ryan Christian, Aaron Roush, Anonymous, Thomas Maloney, Ed West, Rob Juno, Mark Moore, Wendy Ward, Nancy Vancher, Joyce Catanzariti. Thank you all very, 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 very fucking much. Really appreciate it. It's gotta happen. So I'm sorry, but that's gonna happen some more. Steve Cutler has made a really cool fucking graphic to support the show. Put that up on the tweeters and the Instagram. I can't believe we have a fucking Instagram. Big shout out to Ali for doing the heavy lifting on that, man, because the like couple of weeks that you were on vacation and I had to go on that thing a couple of times a day and post content, I was like, really, this is happening?
Right.
Oh, did I talk somebody off the phone? I'm sorry. I
I've been on
apologize.
a posting hiatus.
That was the same person that was on the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Wait, there's nothing in there.
Okay.
We
Well,
should probably wrap it up soon, though.
what's that? We'll
probably
we're gonna wrap the show in the next 10 minutes. For sure. If somebody has like a quick call or anything, I guess go ahead. If not, we'll close it. We're gonna close the phone lines in the next like 5 minutes anyway.
Resident Gray says that I keep going to voicemail on the call.
Huh.
Because someone was already in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Resident Gray, call in real quick. We got 10 more minutes. I'm gonna start reading off some.
There's no one in queue right now.
Super rays that we. Costello, get your poop together. Gaina Fauci, Psaki, pronounced Psac, the genital wart on the podium. Shadowban refugee, rock fan for life. Holmes, also Jim Psaki's eyes make me think she's soulless and evil as fuck. I agree. Black as night, showing us all her reptilian they live nature under that monkey suit. Again, big agree. I was forced to, when I was at the Renaissance Festival campground, watch a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she looked like a fucking Buffy demon. She does.
Is that Resident Gray?
I don't think so. Here we go. You're live.
Hey, who we got?
Again. Nice to hear your voice again. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
I was wondering, can you like educate me on that socialism thing?
That's not really our show, though. Like,
not
entirely. Like, every time I start talking about it, all I get are people that are angry with me because I'm not talking about their particular flavor of socialism. And to be honest, my particular viewpoint is that all of our isms have failed us. It's something that I've been saying for years now. In fact, our guest tomorrow, fantastic article out right now about isms and broken people. So we're definitely gonna go into that, because what she's putting out in that article, I have found to be like incredibly fucking relatable, and therefore, I would like to understand where she came from to arrive to that conclusion, because she's from Moscow originally, now lives in the US, and is going to have a completely different perspective than me. So to watch her come from what was incredibly, a broken USSR at that point, certainly, if not always, to come to the US and see kind of how, like, no matter what it's been packaged as, communism, socialism, capitalism, when it gets sold by sociopathic pedophile billionaires, it's not going to come out the way that the marketing says it's supposed to anyway. So I don't know, man. Like, the people that are just like, read theory, and like that's the extent of their argument. It doesn't.
If someone's going to be a condescending asshole to me, telling me to read theory, guess what? I'm not reading shit.
Yeah.
The first thing I'm reading is like somebody's whole Twitter thread shit posting on the read theory people, just because I'm gonna want to laugh at that point. Like I've read Marx, I've read fucking a ton of what the fucking Engels, and I've read Lenin, and they're like, I've read a ton of fucking Russian anarchists and contemporary anarchists. Just read Michael Malice's book about his particular take on anarchy, trying to get a hold of him to get him on the show if anybody is watching.
Going up, we got one more call coming in. I think it's the person you're trying to get a hold of.
Okay.
All right, cool. We'll see
All right,
ya.
man. Well, thanks for calling in.
Okay, maybe we'll talk again Friday. It says if we have enough time to talk, because it sounds like you don't have time to talk anymore right now. Like
We
you're
do not, and we're trying to get out of here in the next 5 minutes. And this is, I believe, Resident Gray, who we were trying to get a hold of. So,
Bye.
thank you, man. Have a good night and enjoy your weekend.
okay. Bye bye.
You're live.
Hey,
Hello.
you guys are still on?
We are.
What's up, people?
Hello.
How's it going?
All done, and it smells awesome.
Are you Resident Gray or?
It's Cat from the border.
Oh, hey, what's happening? How's Arizona?
And getting ready to get out of because all these spooks are running this place. You talk about feds eating into the YouTubes and the internet and everything. Yeah, man, they're eating at my neighborhood, and I've been telling you guys for 2 years, and it's like total. Like, you don't remember me telling you about being targeted, about having all of these bullshit, bougie, poser hippies coming in here, invading, and now it's like 10 times worse. 10 times worse since Biden. They're all more undercover. They're all more, I don't know what you want to call it, covert actions going on, and so transient, in and out, in and out, in and out. I mean, I'm not just talking like a few houses, a few. This town is very condensed. It's very, it's in a canyon, and it's all hills and stairs. It's from the mining days, and you know, it was so peaceful, so quiet, till the wall build up, bullshit, beef up, and now after Trump, you know, it's even worse because everybody's on this whole left-wing progressive, all the people we hate, the phony posers, fakers with their bullshit. You know, I just can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. I can't take all the people coming and going, coming and going. You don't know what it's like until you have like a couple of Airbnb houses, full big old historical houses, like within 100 feet of you. I mean, it's insane. And especially when they're all, I mean, nobody here gets it. How has the tourism stayed amped up high throughout the whole COVID pandemic, the whole bullshit? People just coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. Most of them military, most of them just assholes, like totally free to the wind, don't give a shit. They walk up to you, right up to your house. Like, I watch these people and they walk right up to people's, like, their porches almost, like looking in the houses and shit. They'll stop in front of houses. We got the Jeep tour, we got the golf cart tour. None of that shit slowed down through pandemic. Even when the shops downtown on Main Street there, the old historical little Main Street with all the different bullshit tourist shops that sell all the same shit they sell right across the line, super cheap in Mexico, selling it there to these tourists. They were all shut down. They were shut down for months. The town was still swarmed with these tourists. I was freaking out. And it's not just tourists. I mean, some of these people are like, they're spooks. They're out and out spooks, man. They're everywhere. Until they finally win, especially the assholes that have been here steady the whole time. I try to explain this, guys. My targeting is not some bullshit narcissism. It's not narcissistic to know that, you know, there are, like, seriously, there are telecom, fiber optic, hand access points, like, within not even an eighth of a mile from me that I know about, in all directions around me that I know about, from almost 30 years ago, from when they built all this shit, and I was helping build all that shit. Had no idea it would come to this bullshit, mass internet surveillance and 5G, all this other shit that's happening. I mean, it's just so easy. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say nothing more than some cable cutters, like even a small pair, because fiber optic, you can cut right through the conduit. Those orange conduits, those really small conduit pipes, and the cables are really small. So it's just a matter of a few minutes, not even a minute, just accessing one of those points, either kneeling down or reaching up a little in real quick fashion. They know that. They know everything about all of us. I mean, every goddamn thing about all of us. They have all our work history, everything. All that shit's already been stored way before 5G, way before any of this. Everything Snowden talked about it's true, and it's older than Snowden. Okay, so even though the shit is like older than shit, that's what they're using. The fiber goes all the way up to the new arrays, the towers on top of the hills around here, everything. They know that. The new border buildup, when they were building all that shit, all the towers they put on this side of the wall, the new wall, because we already had a fucking wall, and we already had a steel wall. They beefed it up during Trump. Okay, this whole time, that whole 5-year contract, they were putting the new towers in. All that shit is like cameras and the array towers and the pole jobs, the borderline pole job, that big ass pole job. Yeah, they need power for that shit. All that construction, all that shit, Israeli tech, the cameras, the contractors, all from Israel. All this shit is real, man. It's really happening, and people are just silent. They're just acting like they don't know. I'm tired of getting scolded too from people, like my favorite indie people. I feel like I'm getting scolded personally every time somebody's like, "You need to get out of the house. You need to take action. Do this." This used to be the coolest hippie town. There used to be the every Friday fucking war protesters. They stand right downtown at the bank. They were the only ones. They don't even do that anymore. And if they do, it's bullshit, because all the tourists, military tourists, are just going right by, like, ha ha ha. Everybody shut down because of the pandemic. The pandemic was part of it. I mean, it was just to keep us all. Look at this summer. Remember Black Lives Matter last summer? Look at this summer. They've calmed the violence down with all of us, like, really, really easy. And now we're all just pissing at each other and bitching at each other. But I really am getting tired of feeling like I'm being scolded constantly for, not joining Rockfin. Again, I'll tell you guys one last time, man. This fucking phone is 2 years old. It's only 2 years old. It was $70, okay? I can't afford the SD card for it. I can't get any more apps. All day long, I'm fucking go and delete my memory cache from just the day's operations. I originally joined YouTube for fucking full albums they lost in a hurricane. They're at the fucking bottom of the Barnegat Bay. Okay, my whole entire fucking LP, cassette, my whole fucking music collection gone. I mean, so my original joining of YouTube was for full albums for free, and it was so cool because no ads back then, no nothing, no glitches in the fucking. Since they turned the 5G on, all that's happened is they've reduced everybody. I'm on a price for life with CenturyLink. Fucking the Bell used to be Quest, and then it was US West, and before that is Bell. But I fucking got this $35 price for life on this fucking Wi-Fi, and all they've done since they gave me that deal was just slow it down while they're making everybody else pay for the updating it, and upgrading it. You want to upgrade your shit? We got 5G now and all this bullshit. Yeah, dude, I have 5G. You know what I mean? I don't need to upgrade. No, so now you're going to downgrade my shit? Now you're going to slow my shit down? My video on YouTube is like blurring up. It's like it's getting grainier and crap. So I could tell they're weakening my shit for keeping this cheap ass it's all about funds. It's all about your budget and what you can afford, and they're just trying to squeeze everybody more and more and more. If I buy a new phone, that means I can't donate to all the indie channels. I donate, $5, $10 here and there. I can't. So it's like one thing or another. Don't scold me. Don't bitch. Don't call me a cuck or on CuckTube. I swear to God, I came to YouTube originally for the movies and the music, mostly the music, and then I got into the free movies. The movies are great. I can find all kinds of movies. I'm a filmophile. You know what I mean? But I don't need to be scolded anymore by people that I love, man. I love you guys, and I just feel like I'm getting scolded and scolded and scolded. And dude, I am low into Asperger's. I was diagnosed after I turned 50. So like all this shit throughout my whole life of hyper focusing and observing and just telling things and seeing things about certain anything. Okay. But on the YouTube and the chats, these call-in shows have been really great because you can tell just by a person's voice, like, are they faking that voice or this or that? I can pick out sus shit. Really, anything suspect, I tune in on it, and it sounds like a lot of paranoia. And I know you guys know Susie Dawson and Elizabeth Mueller. I know you've heard all of their stuff about how these people do. They do target you. They do live foot you. I mean, this couple that moved in, this guy was trying to tell me he's from Patagonia, Arizona. Okay, Patagonia, Arizona. It's a small town. It's close to the border too. Also down here in the south Arizona, and they first move in. The couple, they follow me. I mean, down to the bar, down to it's called the brewery. It's one of the bigger bars downtown because that's what this town is now. It's like a bunch of old bars downtown from the minor days. They've revived them, and that's part of the tourist trend here is those bars. But this couple followed me down to this fucking bar I used to go to all the time. Watch my friend's band play. Like every weekend, I was going down there. Just shoot pool, have a beer. Talk to people I knew and watch this band. And they follow me down there.
We got to wrap
this up,
they
follow me down there.
I got stuff to do tonight.
Okay.
Hey, Kat. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Now, spooks, man. They're spooks. They're spooks. If you don't know the difference between an acorn nut and a pinon, and you say you're from Southern Arizona, you're a spook. You're a liar. But those little things like that, I pick out about a lot of different people. And I was making a lot of points for a couple of years in the chat through Slow News Day, and suddenly, all of a sudden, boom, other people jumping in and repeating the exact same shit I was saying for over 2 years. And I'm like, wait a second, this is sus. This is sus. All I know is I'm repentant. I'm repentant for my selling missile systems for Raytheon to head the state on a missile site, easel board, everything, all that bullshit. I'm repentant for it. I'm a veteran for peace. I don't need an active participant in the actual surveillance system.
Hey, Kat.
Constructing it.
Hey, Kat.
Telling me they're doing the right thing.
If you ever hear a content creator hit up the chat or hit up the camera or drop a link in the chat and it doesn't apply to you, it's not for you. Nobody wants anybody to feel obligated or scolded. Like, if it doesn't apply to you, it's not for you. Like, straight up, nobody wants anybody to hurt themselves so that we can keep doing this. And if that needs to be like reiterated, then let me reiterate that. But no one is trying to make anyone feel obligated or unappreciated at all. Like, not even a little bit. Like, or at least like nobody that you see here or that we have on.
Yeah,
Like,
thanks for
fuck,
calling in,
man.
though. Thanks for calling
Huh?
in. Oh, I just said thanks for calling in.
Yeah, but we do got to go. We're 10
Yeah, we
minutes
gotta
over
wrap.
time already. Ed Sleepy is not wrong. We all have shit to do.
Yeah. So
But
All right,
appreciate you calling in.
bye.
just chill and tell all the other mediators to chill on the Rockfin campaign where you're
Nobody's gonna do that if it's
on
the
the
only,
cut, man.
like, if it's the
It is tough
primary
too.
way that people are
It is
making their money
too.
and
It is all
YouTube
that, but
is a fucking
you're not
censoring nightmare. Nobody's gonna let up
I don't
on
have more time for this shit.
offering other platforms.
Wrap it up.
Like, we got Odyssey too. You don't even have to pay to get on Rockfin.
Push them on.
Like an account is free. It's not like there's a that's only paywalled content. But there are multiple other options besides YouTube. That's up to the user. But nobody's gonna stop promoting their shit. Like I don't know. That's kind of the only way we get to keep doing this.
I mean, YouTube removes our shit without even telling us half the time. We have to
There's
find other.
that.
Sorry, like
Yeah.
if that's a problem, I don't know what to tell people.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
Odyssey, Rockfin. We push all those platforms because we know YouTube's gonna yank our shit eventually.
Yeah, and again, like if it's not something that you can do or change, don't feel like anybody's talking to you specifically. That's a generally delivered message again to allow us to keep doing this.
All right. Well, what you got, Steve?
Shit, man, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 1 p.m. on the East Coast, Tessa Fights Robots will be joining us, and that's going to be fucking awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm pretty sure there's an ABB. Pretty sure. I don't know. But tomorrow night, Sunday, because I'm a fucking just stressed out, overworked Muppet. I had forgot that I booked Gordon from those conspiracy guys from Ireland. And I also booked Sabby Sab. So we're going to have Gordon on for the first hour and Sabby on for the second hour. Very nice of Sabby to come in at 11 instead of 10. And that's how that show's going to roll. And that'll be fun as fuck. And then Hunter Carranza is going to drop in on us Sunday afternoon. Monday, I think we're talking to Pat Militek and Jeffrey Wilson from the Conspiracy Farm. I think there's a Union of the Unwanted too. Garland Nixon will be on next week. I'll be on Tinfoil Hat and Chrissy Barr's show. Reed Coverdale will be on the following Sunday. Yeah, dude, we got all kinds of cool stuff coming up. We do. Jones, you? Tuesday.
Yes,
July 20th.
Tuesday, July 20th, outside the Peckham Federal Building in San Jose, which is where the court is. That is the location where technically Commander X is scheduled to appear, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. East Coast time. But the actual protest is going to be at noon at that federal building in San Jose. There's flyers for it on @FreeCommanderX_. You can go there for all the updates. And if you go to that account and scroll through the tweets, you can also find the link to sit in on his hearing, which begins at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then that would be 12 p.m. East Coast time. So yeah, looking forward to that. That's what I got.
Right on. Well, we're gonna get the fuck up out of here. We will see you guys. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow because again, that's gonna be a good one. And if not, we'll see you soon. Thanks for hanging out. We love the shit out of you. Thanks to everybody who threw a super ray and has supported the show. Thanks to everyone who's been with the show from like day one. If you guys can, please do donate to the GoFundMe. If you can't, get it. I get it. I do. But please share the link because that does help. Love the hell out of you guys, and we will see you soon. Good luck to us all.